the clown. Hey, yo, mama yangu mama.
Karibu sana to everyone, which means a big welcome in Swahili to this remarkable moment in TBB's history and our journey as we begin our Trainer Certification Day. Today, we are celebrating and honoring our exceptional trainers who are on this call: Mary, Celine, Harrison, Vincent, and Nick. And this is a day of immense pride and joy as we're witnessing the impact of their dedication and hard work. We have people on this call, as well as people who are watching this recording later from all over the world. And they are all also so excited to hear from you all and witness this exciting step for you as trainers and for us as TBB. I know that there will be people jumping on and off this call throughout the entire time, as this is happening during a work day in the Western Hemisphere. And so I know that there's a lot of people who will be watching this recording afterwards. So I'm going to start with just an introduction of myself and share a brief history of TBB before we move on to the other team members in the ceremony. So my name is Lauren Stanley. I am an occupational therapist. I am from Chicago, but I've been working as an OT in Houston for the past 13 years. My specialty is pediatrics, and specifically within that, children with cerebral palsy or other neuromotor conditions. I am the founder and executive director of Therapists Beyond Borders. A little bit of history for my journey starting that and why TBB exists. My vision for TBB really came about after years of personal experiences traveling the world and exploring the therapy space in different countries. And I really struggled to find appropriate opportunities to volunteer as an OT while traveling. And I mean, the majority of opportunities are either that mission trip model and or are not locally sustainable or are, just some kind of corporate opportunity for a middleman to profit off of, kind of being a connection agency without having any idea of the needs on the ground, or weren't following an interdisciplinary holistic approach. And so it was really just uncovering all of these gaps for years and knowing that there was a lack of an organization to fill those holes while simultaneously encountering significant need across the world. That's what led me to start TBB. And so it was really after an outpouring of support from therapists all around the world, kind of following that journey and the support of many of you on this call or listening to this recording, that TBB was born in 2018. So our mission is to empower communities that care for individuals with disabilities around the world through training programs in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. And we follow a train the trainer model, and our end goal is always local sustainability of programs. So the 5 trainers that we are celebrating today have successfully completed our training of trainer program, meaning that they are the ones to continue training their communities on our programs, as well as assist that to grow further. So a very brief history of our programs. Our first pilot training happened in the fall of 2019. It was a pediatric training for caregivers of children with disabilities. And then when 2020 and COVID came around, everyone had to do a major pivot. So we took what we learned from our pilot and built our second program, which focuses on mental health and wellness, which was developed in response to the skyrocketing unmet mental health needs that arose with COVID. And then last year in 2022, we co-developed and launched our third program, which is focused on adult disabilities. So that program and the mental health program are both active programs and are the reason we are here today, because we're celebrating and certifying the local trainers who have been leading these programs. So I would like to introduce TBB Global Leadership, and then we'll move on with the ceremony and the trainers. So first, I'm going to introduce Daniela. Daniela has been a part of TBB since last year, and she is our Director of International Relations. Daniela, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining all of us today to celebrate these incredible therapists. As Lauren said, my name is Daniela Raj. I'm a speech pathologist. I'm currently based in Malaysia. My areas of specialization are within in adult disability, neuro rehab, geriatrics, and palliative care. I spent several years focusing on rural and Indigenous health, and I've also had the privilege of being a clinical educator and department manager during my time there. Currently, I serve at TBB as the Director of International Relations, and I'm really excited to see TBB expand into different regions and other countries outside of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you for Daniela, all of your hard work. And so next up, I'd like to introduce Lisa. And Lisa has been a part of our organization since earlier this year, and she is our Director of Communications. Lisa, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi all, I am Lisa Ozier. I'm a speech language pathologist located in Chicago, Illinois. My background is within medical speech pathology and academia. As I work as a director of clinical education and a professor. My area of specialization include educational leadership, clinical-based teaching and simulations, dysphagia management across the lifespan, and neurogenic communication disorders. I currently serve at TBB as the Director of Communications, and I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And next up is Alexa, who has been a part of TBB since early 2019. And she is the physical therapist who built the PT section of our pilot pediatric training that I mentioned. And she is now our Director of Programs. So thank you, Alexa, for your dedication and support to TBB for all these years. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to her for her to introduce herself and the trainers, and she will kick off the ceremony.
Thanks, Lauren. First, I want to just say hi to our amazing trainers. So if we can all just wave and say hi, the trainers. Hi, guys. Thank you so much. I know. Hi. It's after your work day, and you've been hustling all day, and now you're ready to celebrate yourself. So I'm excited to do that. And I want to say thank you to all our guests joining us also from around the world. My name is Alexis Stevens. I work as a physical therapist in Washington, D.C. I have over 20 years of experience in pro bono program development in pediatric physical therapy. And like Lauren said, I currently serve as the Director of Programs for TBB. Let's talk about the real stars of our show today, our trainers, which we all just waved to. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to introduce each trainer one by one. And after my brief introduction, trainers, you're going to introduce yourself to the group by stating your name, profession, role in TBB, and then if you could share something interesting or something you love about Kenya, that would also be great. So I'm going to start with Celine, who is an occupational therapist. And if her camera is on, Celine, could you please introduce yourself, stating your whole name, profession, your role in TBB, and then something interesting or that you love about Kenya?
Hi.
Hi, Celine.
I'm Celine Achieng Omondi. I'm an occupational therapist working in Kise, and mostly specialized in pediatrics, mostly working with kids. And since I joined TBB, I think now I'm balancing both adults and the kids. Okay, something about Kenya, something interesting about Kenya.
Sure. Yes.
How I think I love the culture, and also like on matters rehabilitation, it has gone far wide to impact. So that's what I love about Kenya, as in we are, what can I say about it? It's all about culture, the culture. Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you, Celine. Next up, we have Harrison, who is a physical therapist.
Hi all, I'm Harrison Kiora Gisheru. The middle name is for frog, Kiora, and I really love that name. I come from Kenya. I'm a physiotherapist, that is physical therapist. In Kenya, we we are known as physiotherapists. I'm a general practitioner for that matter, a BSc holder. I also major in sports, and we have a great team that does extreme sport called kayaking. It's to do with boats. Yes, about TBB, well, it's given me a big picture about the world and where we're heading to in terms of kind of a vehicle to globalization, one way or the other. Looks like already we've gotten away of merging physios, OTs, and therapists. That's one of the greatest things I've gotten from TBB. More so now, I think now that we are very excited to graduate and to be confirmed as TBB, volunteers from Kenya, I hope we're going to do great work. What I love about Kenya is we're open-minded and we truly want to know what is happening around the globe, and we welcome great ideas and welcome people to Kenya. Kenya is quite a great, magnificent country. It's got almost anything you'd wish to see and to experience. Great cultures, great people, hospitable ones like us. Yes, you can see how Serene and Nick and Vincent are smiling, and Mary giving us a big smile. That's exactly what you're likely to get in Kenya, and you'll surely get it, and much more than that when you visit Kenya. It's a great country, a very welcoming one. Most welcome.
Harrison, I didn't know that about your middle name, so thank you for sharing that. Next up, we have Vincent.
Thank you, Alexa. Vincent Gesora Achoki is my third name, and Makisi in tribe, where bananas are found to be growing mostly. And I'm a physiotherapist, diploma in physio. I have a higher diploma in medical education and a bachelor's in physiotherapy. And I currently work at the Kenya Institute of Special Education. And I'm also the vice president as Kenya Society of Physiotherapy in Kenya. And what I'd say I love about Kenya, it's basically the culture. It's our home, so I won't choose anywhere else apart from here. The culture is beautiful. The people are loving, and they're hardworking as well. And maybe something that the others can relate. We are also the home of the Big Five, so we are proud of that. So otherwise, I'm grateful being here, and mostly I'm in the disability world. That's where I found myself, and I'm loving it. So that's my line. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
Next is Nicholas.
Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon to my diaspora colleagues. In front of you is Nicholas Amora Odeng. Nicholas is a physiotherapist and a speech therapist, currently working as a speech therapist in Kenyatta National Hospital, where he is the team lead of speech and language therapy unit. He's also the chief disability assessor. I do work with adults and children, of which adults I work with patients with a disability in areas of dysphagia, neurological conditions, and in pediatrics I work with across all the conditions. TBB has made a lot of impact in my practice, as learning or impacting knowledge to patients and carers has been a vital and most important part of my management. So it has really helped me, and the knowledge I've had, I've really gained a lot and shared with my clinical colleagues and my patients. Everyone is also benefiting from TBB. When it comes to Kenya, Kenya is home. Kenya is a place where everyone is yearning and willing at any given time, if given opportunity, to stay and work in. I love it because naturally I'm a Kenyan. We are associated with well-mannered, highly disciplined, ready to learn, and more so, the most important part of Kenya, and that's why Kenyans are a place you can think of come day or night, is that we are all open-minded. And given that there's that freedom of speech, we highly appreciate our government, because regardless of the situation, we express our needs. With that, I'd also remind you that Kenya is one of the few countries in Africa which have one of the wonders of the world. That is the wild beast crossing the River Mara. So before you think of coming to Kenya, think of being one of the witness of one of the wonders of the world, which you can only find only in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. And last, but certainly not the least, is Mary.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to join this ceremony. My name is Mary Musyoki. I'm an occupational therapist working with special education professionals and also a trainer with TBB on matters mental health. I think everyone has said everything I love about Kenya, because I was to say Kenyans are very hardworking, and I think you'll find them everywhere around the globe. You'll just find a Kenyan working very hard. So yeah, that is one thing I love about Kenya. And yeah, it's amazing to see this far we've come with TBB, and I'm really, really happy to be here and part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you all for introducing yourselves and sharing interesting personal pieces about you, and then also about Kenya. I know that I've learned so much from each one of you. Before we begin the certificate process, which I know everybody's very eager to get to, I would like, and I only think it's fair that I take a little bit of time to brag about the hard work that all of these trainers have just mentioned. They're very hardworking, but that each of them have put in to creating these programs. They all helped build and are currently providing trainings of these two programs in their communities. So in 2020, prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic, we launched our first mental health program entitled Mental Health and Wellness Surrounding the COVID-19 Pandemic in Kenya. This course took place virtually in November and December of 2020, and it included a group of 12 Kenyan physiotherapists, occupational therapists, nurses, and community health workers. This group attended educational virtual sessions taught by Dr. Bernard Munithi, who's a PhD and also an occupational therapist, and he worked with them to prepare and provide trainings for their own communities and provide resources aimed at addressing the skyrocketing mental health needs in Kenya due to COVID-19. I'd like to pause here and thank Dr. Munithi, he can raise his hand if he wants to, publicly for giving his time and knowledge to this course. And big claps for sure. Thank you so much. Because of your dedication and that of the participants, the mental health program continues to grow and develop. Since January of this year, Mary has been our lead mental health trainer, and she has given 8 community trainings throughout Kenya. And rumor has it that she's in Ethiopia right now, also giving trainings.
Somali.
That's true.
Somaliland.
That's great. We have seen the most impact from her trainings in the community setting. And Mary shares that specifically that impact is with parents of children with with disabilities. physical and mental disabilities. In the future, what we're looking forward to growing in this program is designing more targeted trainings around the mental health of children with disabilities and the acceptance and celebration of differently abled bodies with the goal of destigmatizing disability. We're starting in Kenya. We should also start all over the world, but it's a little bit big. Moving on to the second program is our adult disability program. And it's one that is special to me because it's the first program that I led in which local therapists, and you're looking at all of them, the ones we're celebrating today, directly contributed to developing the content of these programs in partnership with the Global Volunteer Team. Our Global Volunteer Team consisted of Natalie, an OT, Jamie, a PT, and Lydia, a speech therapist. I'm not sure if they're on here now, but I would like to say thank you to each of them for giving their time and for their dedication to this process. This team and I began meeting 1 to 2 times a week in 2022 to develop the adult disability program. Together, we worked diligently to build 12 trainings for diagnosis common to Kenya. That's over 200 slides worth of knowledge and probably thousands of hours of work. I think they would agree it was a lot of work. This resulted in a clinician version entitled Empowering Your Patient, Common Adult Rehab Diagnoses, and How to Educate Your Patient and Caregivers, and a community version entitled Understanding Your Diagnosis, What It Is, How It Happened, Typical Prognosis, and How Therapy Can Help. During this process, the trainers repeatedly emphasized that it would be important and impactful to make 2 messages clear in the trainings. The first message being that providing knowledge to the patient in a way they can understand is empowering and leads to better outcomes. The second was to emphasize the importance of PT, OT, and speech therapies working as an interdisciplinary team. I think what you've built, trainers, and are now teaching to your colleagues and to your communities captures those messages really well. And I'm very proud of you, and you should be very proud of yourselves. We'll continue to spread this message of empowerment to each of your patients and throughout your working environment. It's been an incredible journey collaborating together to implement this program, and we are so proud of each of you. Celine, Harrison, Mary, Nick, and Vincent. I know this next season with TBB will be full of new experiences and major growth. Thank you for being part of the TBB family. We can clap for that. I'd now like to let Daniela take the lead to share a special video that we've made of our volunteers and our trainers.
Thanks, Alexa. And I'd like to give a shout out to Lisa as well, who created this special video for the trainers. And to all the trainers, we're so proud of you, and we would like to acknowledge you and honor all the hard work you've done. I don't think we can fully capture, the hours and the time that you've spent with us in the program, but we hope you enjoy the short clip just honoring you guys and celebrating the achievements you've had.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, Lisa. But mostly, I'm enjoying all of the emojis that are popping up too. That's really fun to see. Thank you. All right. Now we're moving to the award presentation. Today is a day of great honor and celebration as we gather here to recognize and award our outstanding trainers with this certification. It's my privilege and my delight as the Director of Programs to acknowledge the remarkable achievements of Celine, Harrison, Vincent, Nick, and Mary. Throughout their journey in Therapists Beyond Borders, these trainers have exhibited dedication, perseverance, and a deep commitment to our organization, but more importantly, their communities. These trainers have embraced the challenges of our comprehensive program with enthusiasm, demonstrating exceptional aptitude and a desire to make a positive impact on the lives of those they serve. They have invested countless hours and personal resources bringing this program to their communities. Today, we proudly present them with their well-deserved title of Certified Trainer. These certificates represent not only their successful completion of the program, but also the transformation they have undergone as individuals and professionals. Trainers, as you receive your certificates, please know that this is not just a piece of paper or a virtual picture. That's what we've got right now for you. But it is a symbol of your commitment, your expertise, and your dedication to your communities and to TBB's mission. And it is also our symbol of our commitment to all of you as members of our family of TBB. Embrace this moment with a deep sense of pride and fulfillment. Your journey as certified TBB trainers does not end here. It's just the beginning of a lifelong commitment to the well-being of others. As I present each of you your certificate, I'll be asking you to answer the question, what does TBB mean to you? And also, I'm just going to fast forward. There's more questions after that, but all you have to answer is one question. What does TBB mean to you? Danielle is going to flash the first certificate on the screen. And Celine, congratulations. Angora, what does TBB mean to you?
Wow. Thank you so much. It's so emotional. So far. So, Therapists Beyond Borders, what it means to me now as a graduate and as a trainer, and even before becoming one is the fact that it trains the communities for individual with disability. You get that when you give a training, you give an individual training. To me as an individual, I'll now make it even go further with the rest. Because if you am training, I'll also give a training, and this will promote empowerment, will bring in empowerment, both locally and even internationally, and also with the communities that we have around. So now that there is always a huge gap towards like you give me a training, I also give someone. So with the TBB, the fact that this is a huge step towards creating that local sustainability. And this is what we really did as a rehabilitative sector, or as a rehabilitation sector, because we know that when, let's say you have a condition, let's give it an example of stroke. So I know that after like coming out of the hospital, what next can I do? But now Therapists Beyond Borders comes in with a speech therapist, with a physiotherapist, and also with an occupational therapist. That is one thing under one roof. So you get all this under one roof. Hence, that one will promote local sustainability, and this will also give an easier way for caregivers and also for those taking care of these are the people with a disability. And that is something huge that TBB gives. And that is something that really encourages me with the TBB. And I like it so much. The fact that it works with the community and promotes the local sustainability.
Thank you, Celine, and congratulations. Everybody's clapping. You can't hear, you can only hear me. Congratulations, Celine. Thank you. All right. Mr. Harrison.
Yes. I'm not yet seeing mine.
I know. Give us a second. It's coming up, I promise.
Can't wait to see it.
You've earned it. It's coming up. Here we go.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Harrison. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. I've already seen the certificate. I'm grateful for that. Go ahead.
Harrison, could you show us, could you tell us a little bit about what TBB means to you?
Well, TBB means quite a lot to me in terms of it's an enhanced package whereby we've gotten a real tool. In Kenya, we're calling it bottom up. We empower, we empower from the people without knowledge to gaining knowledge, to knowing about their conditions, knowing about how to talk about their conditions, their caregivers also understanding, and then having that advocacy and creating awareness that they can seek correct and kind of knowledgeable and proper care from the real rehab team, because we have also other people who masquerade as physios, as occupational therapists, as speech therapists, and truly our communities do not differentiate. They don't have those many avenues of understanding that. Now TBB has come in and seen the gap, and this is the gap we are really meeting. The bridge is already there. It means quite a lot to me. I've seen communities, the groups that have trained, I've seen them, taking it and understanding it, and even wondering how comes it's now that they are being told about what they should seek for and how to seek for what they want. It's truly amazing. It's a phenomenal thing. More so, I feel that when it's taken to so many people, as much as it is international, we move to the masses, the people, the actual people who really demand these services. It will be a great thing. It's phenomenal. It's the future in our globalization. Thank you.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you for all you do. Harrison, I'm just going to say, is kind of like my eyes and ears on the ground in Kenya. And he's just, everybody's been a great help, all of the trainers, but Harrison, thank you very much. Nicholas, we would like to present you with your certificate of amazing achievement.
Waiting to see.
I know.
They have all been so excited for this day.
Yes. Been waiting from noon.
Yeah, I know. We had some miscommunication there. Here it is, Nick. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. I think you guys all heard, but Nick is a PT and a speech therapist. And he just is quite amazing and such a gift to TBB, and now we're so grateful that he's a part of our family. Nick, could you please share, though, what TBB means to you?
Well, to me, TBB is a movement. Why am I saying it's a movement? Because TBB is the mission is what is core management of all our patients, regardless of the cadre or regardless of the profession. So that's why I say it's a movement. Without TBB focus, our approach, most clinicians find it almost next to impossible to manage their clients and patients. So to me, TBB is all what we need. The effect of TBB since we started cascading it has shown a lot. Like I used to clear it to you that the first group I met requested that I treat them like a cohort. Why are they requesting to be treated as a cohort? They saw the need, they saw the impact, and everyone is really willing. That's why along the way you get, if I say we have a training, we get exaggerated numbers. So given that TB is really focused, is the backbone of management, either at critical level or at rehabilitation level, it's key in management, and the knowledge, if cascaded well, is having a lot of impact. To my clinicians, they have seen the insight of what has been lacking or ignored. That is the education to the patients and carers. And to the patients, it's something like a dream come true, whereby a clinician is sitting down with them, explaining to them what could be there and the possible outcomes, something which is really encouraging them, given that in as much as some conditions, the prognosis could be poor, with the knowledge you gain from TBB and the clinical experience we've been having, it has made it much easier to pass the information to both clinicians, that's in teaching them, and to my patients and their significant others. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caribou. All right, Vincent. Congratulations, and thank you for all your work. And I'm stalling so your certificate can come up as I talk very slowly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think Vincent was oh, here it comes. Great. Congratulations, Vincent.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Appreciated. Thank you. Quite an honor.
Thank you, Vincent. Do you please share with us what TBB means to you?
Thank you, Alexa. I think initially first is to sum it up is TBB basically is, to me, it's like a family. So us being together like a family is something that people we value in the African setup. So to me, it's like a family. The other is to appreciate the fact that TBB is coming through to our communities in terms of the information that we are giving them, empowering them in terms of knowledge of their conditions in a friendly way, in a language that they are able to understand. And as we know, information is power, or knowledge is power. Once you are able to know what's affecting you, you're able to manage it better. So us being able to craft this content, the medical content, in a way that they can be able to understand it is very important. And it's quite impactful, mostly to the rural areas, getting to see how the community is appreciating the knowledge that they are receiving from the content that we have been sharing. So that impact is really, really something that I appreciate. And the fact that we have professionals from different angles coming together, different continents coming together, and we understand culture is diverse. Us bringing our brains together to be able to craft the content, the medical content that we have, to make it fit into our African setting so that it can directly help us. That's a notch that I accord to TBB and the people who have been engaged in all these, us being able to craft this together. That's something that I appreciate a lot. And I think going forward, we will be able to do a lot and help the community. So ensuring that at the end of the day, we leave the patient happy is something that it's in my heart. So we will be able to move forward together as a family. Otherwise, the rest of my colleagues have also echoed a lot. I echo what they have talked about, and I support it. Otherwise, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Vincent. Welcome to TBB family. Thank you for wanting to be a part of it. Thank you. And last, again, my friend Mary.
Let me make sure it's yes, it's good.
Okay. I was like, did we misspell anything? Oh no. Thank you, Mary, for all your hard work, all the hours, all the personal resources. You just mean the world to us. And now that it's official that you're part of TBB, can you maybe share what it's meant to you?
I'm glad to graduate with TBB. For me, that feels very good and encouraging. I would like to say thank you to my tutor from TBB, Dr. Bernard. I can see him, he's around. So thank you so much for believing in us. And for me, TBB means empowerment. Just trying to see how to link clinicians and community, and how to help community to understand itself on its own, and also to, once you teach one person in the community, that means you have reached their family, and that means you have reached the church where the family goes, and that means the whole community is reached in one way or another. So meaning, even if they will say the prevention for maybe for stroke or for the spinal cord injury could be this and this, maybe the old, this is how we need to take care of the old. That means you're going to reach a very big and wide range of people. So that is what I think TBB is trying to do. And I think TBB, as I work with SEP, TBB has made SEP not to go into a community without doing a mental health check. So yeah, so it is really amazing. Yeah, before we even start engaging with the community as SEP, because of TBB's impact, we have to do a mental health workshop for the parents and the caregivers and even the staff, to just be in the same mental level with each other. So that means we'll have more impact if their mental health is at a good level. So when we are giving advice and when we are saying something to be done at home, they are able to do it easily because they're just settled. So that's what TBB means to me. And I thank the team for doing this empowerment. And I'm just hoping we reach more clinicians so that we can reach more families and more communities. And yes, we are going international, and yeah, we are in Somaliland this week. So with SEP, and of course TBB is represented in one way or another. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'm happy and honored to graduate today.
Yay, Mary, thank you. And apologies, I mixed up the country, Somaliland. Thank you. Very good. Well, congratulations, trainers. Let's all do one more big round of applause. I don't know if we can unmute everybody real quick and just do that. If not, just know that we're all cheering. Great.
Yeah.
Woo. So we're not finished showcasing our trainers. So they all get to speak more, which I know some of them are very excited about and some of them are not. But we are asking each trainer to share some personal experiences that they've had with TBB. And they've been given these questions ahead of time, and they're going to kind of reflect back to the past. Well, Mary, it's been a few years, and for the rest of us, it's been a couple years or a year. So we're going to start with just a few questions. Celine, I am going to start with you, and I'll give you the order if you guys want in similar order, but it's Celine, and then Harrison will answer the same question that I asked Celine, Nick, Vincent, and then Mary. So it's kind of in that order. So are we ready? I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you guys to share these. All right, starting with Celine. Celine, do you have a favorite impact story from one of your trainings that you've done?
Yes, I have it. It can't miss now that TBB has done a lot in terms of training me and also giving out a training. We can't miss. We can't miss a favorite story. So from one of my classes, that was in April. Yes. I did a training on stroke. So we started off what stroke is and which people or which group of people will manage stroke. But there is this story that came out or stood out. We have one specific person who, after I had finished with the training, he gave a story saying that he's a stroke patient, yes, post-stroke. So he gave a story of he gave a story saying that he had stroke, but now after the doctors, we have to pass through the doctors first. So after the doctors, the family were confused. Now where do we need to go to? Now that we are here, what do we need to do? Then they were not aware that they can need a speech therapist, they can need an occupational therapist or a PT physio. So this is where now TBB came in. So after giving out the training, he was saying something like, how comes we are not told we can have that a rehabilitation team. We need to have a rehabilitation team that when now I'm from the doctor, I need to do this, I need to do this. So something challenging is if these trainings come handy and people knows, even we give training to the clinicians, saying that after this you have to go through rehabilitation. Not only that you are with the doctors, but we also have to go through the rehabilitation team. So TBB offering training on such is such a big relief to the community. And that's what he was saying, that such trainings needs to be like, we need to have them more, because not a lot of people can access to these informations, and not a lot of people really know what this is. So he said that after the training, he will also go and even tell the rest, like, we are not only going to sit here, but we also need to spread huge, far and wide. And that is the most favorite story that I had. It is favorite because I know that I gave a training, and I also know that there is someone who is really eager to share it with the rest, and who is really eager to know that this rehabilitation team is there, and it will really bring a huge impact to the society. Thank you.
Thank you, Celine. So, that was a great story. Thank you for sharing that. Harrison, do you have a favorite impact story?
Yes, in brief, I've encountered quite a number of impactful stories from the people I've given the trainings to. But one thing that stood out so well is when I managed through TBB to link a client from the rural areas, that is Mount Kenya. It's about a 4 hours drive to Nairobi. The client could not manage to go there, didn't have finances, had CVA, didn't know that despite me giving physiotherapy, she required also to be seen by a speech therapist, and I had to organize that, and that has stood out to be my greatest, most impactful thing that has come out of TBB and the trainings. Now I've started getting clients who are coming through the hospital, thinking that the institution offers speech therapy, you can imagine. And we did this through me contacting one of the TBB volunteers who's been given a certificate today. He's Samora. Nick, thank you so much, and TBB, thank you so much. Even if I don't give any other story that has stood within the community and it's got so much impact within my community, to the extent of the director looking for me and wanting me to share what exactly, how everything was done, how the treatments was undertaken. You see, telemedicine has not yet taken root in Kenya, and that was one of the ways that it moved smoothly and without any hinges. And the patient has now improved tremendously, gotten confident. The significant others and the relatives are so happy. They feel so much empowered and confident. I wouldn't ask much more than that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harrison. Harrison, I do have a question for you. Would you mind clarifying, you talk about the telehealth, would you mind clarifying how you actually partnered with Nick and got that patient connected with Nick for her therapy?
Yeah.
Because that's a great part of the story.
Yeah, sure. What happened is after the patient came, I saw the client for about 4 treatments. I requested them whether they could manage to take the client. The relatives could manage to seek a way to get the patient seen by a speech therapist, and basically we have very few of them in Kenya. But luckily for me, I knew Nick is part of us. So I talked to Nick I called him, explained the case, and he accepted that we set an appointment. We didn't set an appointment through my phone and his, and then I had a WhatsApp call, video call, and the patient was seen through that, was given treatment, and reviewed, and that's the greatest story that came out of it.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you. I wonder, Nick's next. I wonder if he's mad that you borrowed that story because he cannot use it.
He can use it because it was great. We said it could be given every other time.
We can flip-flop. All right. Thank you, Harrison. Nick, do you have a story you can share with us, please?
Well, I'm observing a lot, but given that time is too short on our side, one of the key areas I need to highlight is the interdisciplinary action teamwork that TBB reinforced. Given that TBB is not just for a specific profession, it's for the rehab team, and of which, like me, I also happy to inform that I decided to include audiologists, given that most of my cases are also seen by audiologists, and they're the people who also need to know how now to pass information to both the patients and their significant others. When it comes to occasions worth recognizing, is one of them is teletherapy. That's what I did with Mr. Harrison. It really worked, and up to now, I know even patients' significant others, that's the family members, are not believing that there could be such like a therapy where you just talk to one through the phone, they get well. They even talk. Somebody has never talked for the last, I think it was over a month plus post-stroke. So to them, it's like a miracle, but it all came because of TBB. When other occasions are like when I was doing my presentation, it was really sad to note that one of my participants had a ailing mother who did not know how to go about it when it comes to dysphagia management. So when we are now discussing the possible role each and every professional is taking, when I elaborated on dysphagia management as one of the priorities in short-term goals under speech, I was asked that question as a by the way. Then later on, it came out that truly the question was not as a by the way. It was a real life situation of which I also advised, and it also worked. So I can say all these things are making a positive impact in my profession. At the same time, it's also empowering both the clinician and carers. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Vincent, can you share with us one of your favorite impact stories from the trainings?
I think mine is short, but it's very impactful to the client that or the patient that I met. I think as TBB trying to break down the wordings of the content is something that is impactful to the community. I had a patient who, the physio part as management wasn't explained to them. So he had back pain, and I think the first information that he got was he needed surgical intervention. So I think that scared him off. So he had been having pain all through. I think it was roughly a year plus. And I think the reason why I'm sharing this is because he called me actually last week and told me that he has visited a therapist and is now faring on well. So the impact of us, the training that I did, and him realizing that it's not only surgical intervention that can get rid of back pain, because most people, when they talk about the spine, it's a sensitive area. And currently, most of us medics, okay, the surgical doctors, most of them recommend surgery. But rehab came through to bridge that gap. But the information is not yet out there. So people are still others thinking about surgical intervention. So that information to that client was very helpful. He wasn't able to have finances to cater for the surgery, but it was also something scary. So he just almost kind of preferred managing the pain by himself and enduring it. But after some few sessions, he's able to now at least have ease of pain. So that to me is quite impactful. So I'm sure us continuing to share this information in a more language that is friendly to us is going to be very impactful going forward. So I think that's my short story. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. Yeah, sounds like he was saved from some surgery. That's always wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Mary, it is your turn.
For me, every training has its like a wow story, because with mental health, when I do the trainings, I allow the parents to, or the caregivers to just share their story having a child with disability. So each story is unique and just like a wow moment for me as a trainer. But every time when you are through with the training and you see the difference between the beginning and after the training, that's normally like an amazing, something very amazing, because you will see the shift in attitude, shift in how they address you. They have a changed attitude towards what the other therapists are telling them. So yeah, but I think one of them is I really like that. That was last year, and we started the training, and during our sharing time, one parent shared and cried, because I give them the chance to just cry. If you feel like crying, just cry during your sharing time, because it's part of the process. And she was really low. She was very down. She didn't have a job, and she has to take care of the child and the other children with disability. And I gave them activities to help with coping strategies for stressors. And we did skipping rope for the mothers, and also they did hula hoop during the session. And it's amazing, because she was like the first person to volunteer to do skipping rope. And after that, she was all laughing, all smiling. She was just happy. And after the training, she came to me and said, Mary, you don't know how much you have changed my day today. I was really low. I was thinking about job. I was thinking about what to do with my boy. I just thank you because of this workshop. So that was really like like for the moment change in mood, in attitude, in feelings. It was just amazing. But that is just for that moment. But all the other workshops that we've been able to do, parents will just have a total change in how they treat the therapist, how they treat their children, how they treat home program. Yeah, it's just amazing. And I just feel like I need to keep on having them do psychosocial support, because every day they have a new story. Every day is a different story. So yeah, so that's one of my stories, but I have so many more, and some of them you'll cry. I think my director is here, Caroline, and one time we did a story in the office during our meeting after a workshop, and everyone was like, that's so that's weighing down. That's what I go through every time I do a mental health workshop. After that, I also need a psychologist. Yeah, so but the results are amazing. They are amazing stories and results. Yes.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, each one of you. So great. Yeah, claps. Yay. Oh, I see Caroline on here right now. Okay, I think we have time for one more question, but I'm not going to have time to ask all of you. So I know, big disappointment, but I'm going to start with Celine. And Celine, if you're able to pop on, could you please, how about, we've been talking about how these trainings have been empowering the communities and your colleagues, but how has this process in becoming a part of TBB empowered you personally?
So I think it has really empowered me. That's a yes, because we say that it can always take a whole world to know that an individual needs a group to be around him or her, and this group has the group has just made it possible towards achieving this. So that's the great thing that TBB has empowered me with. Like you work around a group of people. With this group of people, you share views, you share what you're supposed to do. But with this, we now create something big.
Thank you, Celine. Here, I see all the emojis are popping up with all the claps. It's fun to see. Harrison, could you please share how you've felt empowered by joining TBB?
Well, I've really had to look into myself in a much deeper way through TBB, and the way I've gotten empowered is to know how to exactly come down to the level of the patients in terms of communicating. I used to have so much jargon, you know the medical terms. I didn't know that they don't mean quite a lot, except they scare off patients without knowing. And it doesn't really evoke compassion. It only creates a distance, a barrier. It's a barrier, it's a distance between me and my clients. I never knew that until now. The simplest of simplest, unpacking of messages into that very simple language becomes the real thing to my clients. And that's the most empowering thing I've seen. And I've seen it also to the few clinicians that come to for the trainings. They get so much confidence until it gives them when they are attending to their clients, that compassionate nature, because they didn't know how to talk to the clients. They didn't know. It's not only giving the treatment, it's exactly much more than that. They feel empowered, they feel confident, and then they ultimately become so compassionate. The caregivers, it's a sure thing. They are doing the same. They've become compassionate through understanding how to talk to the people with the conditions, and even the other people, the community. It's truly an empowering thing. not only to me, but almost to every other person who comes to the training.
Thank you, Harrison. And asante to each of you for your powerful shares and for your vulnerability in sharing those stories. You've all done such incredible work, and I just I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm extending my heartfelt congratulations to each of you. As you move forward in your professional journey, know that you carry our support, admiration, and gratitude with you. You're not alone in this. We're all now in it together, whether or not we like it, kind of like a family. As we bring this ceremony to a close, I'd like to give just a very loud clap for everybody, and then Lauren's going to share some final remarks. But before she begins, I'm going to be brave enough, and I'm going to add, don't laugh at my pronunciation, ongera, to all of you. Yay! Thank you, Vincent. Vincent's doing the thumbs up.
Vincent looks very proud.
I know, Vincent's coaching me. He's like, your pronunciation. I know.
You had it. You got it right this time around. You started off wrong.
And it's a perfect, example of this entire journey. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you to the team. Thank you to our trainers. I do have a few stories that I'd love to share that really capture just TBB's approach, our impact from these trainers and these programs. So the first one is a personal favorite, where during the development of this course last year, it was really, the course had been developed, and we were into the training of trainer process of making sure they were all comfortable with, everything they had just put together and actually presenting it. And one of the trainers had the idea, Harrison, of, hey, we should be training. This is what he said. He said, we're talking about where we want to start having these trainings. And he said, we should be going to the dispensaries and having these trainings. And if you are in the US on this call or listening to the recording, you're probably wondering, what? And so we had to have Harrison clarify that in Kenya, a dispensary is also called a level 1 health center, which is the first entry point into the healthcare system in a community. So we've been talking about stroke today. If a patient has a stroke, that's where they get to first. And they're like the gatekeepers that tell them where to go next. And so, if they don't know what's going on with a stroke, or if they don't even know that therapy is a thing, which is the reason these courses exist, then that patient isn't going to get the treatment, as you've been hearing the feedback from the people who have been attending these trainings. And so, we're like, all right, it was just a perfect example of like, well, we cannot communicate to our supporters that we're, having trainings at dispensaries, or we're fundraising for dispensary trainings. So just a perfect example of having to work across cultures, but also Harrison leading that in terms of, this is where we need to have these. This is where it's going to have the most impact, because he is a local trainer and he is the one who knows how this is going to be successful. So just all encompassing of TBB's entire approach right there. Another one is when this adult disability program launched in October of last year. The development and this collaboration with these team members was all virtual. And then I was the only one to go to Kenya in October to watch this launch. So at this point, right, I'm just watching it happen. They're on their own leading the trainings. And so at the end of the training, it was on stroke also. And one of the caregivers came up at the end and said to the trainer, it was Harrison again, that, my loved one had a stroke, and if there was a cup in front of her, she could say that this was a cup. But if the cup was no longer in front of her and she couldn't see it, she could not say what that was, or what is something you drink out of. And that their entire family was calling their loved one a liar, and they thought that she was lying, and no one was believing her that she didn't know what a cup was. And so that family member said to Harrison, now I realize what was happening. And now I realize that she needed speech therapy, and I didn't even know that speech therapy was a thing. And that captures the essence of that entire point of that training. And also TBB's approach, in that Harrison is a physiotherapist and he just reached someone about speech therapy. I just had goosebumps run through my entire body. That is amazing. It is unheard of in Kenya and many places around the world to be able to work interdisciplinary like that and to be able to refer and understand when a patient has a need outside of one that you can meet yourself and where you need to call in your team. I'm just so proud. That was the first training of this program that happened, and it was just like immediate impact and exactly the reason why we built that program. I've got 3 minutes. I could go on and on and on. And I know that all the trainers on here too could. It's been so amazing. We've been doing exit interviews with them as they've exited this pilot period, as they've been practicing leading trainings, and their answers to the questions that largely I asked a while ago have evolved immensely over the past couple of years. It is just so amazing to have seen their growth and to really be, they have all these ideas for how this can grow. I mean, they're speaking more than we are in our meetings. They're really starting to lead things, and it's just amazing. They've reminded me too of how many levels of empowerment TBB is. I would say the past few months, we've really been focused on the data and the outcomes that they are collecting individually. And then when we were having these exit interviews, me and the trainers, they were really sharing how much they've been empowered themselves and within each other. Like the example of Harrison reaching out to Nick, so across disciplines for support. So it's just been amazing to see TBB Global empower TBB Local and Global are empowering each other back and forth. And TBB Local is now empowering, their community members, other clinicians. Nick shared a story where he had a training and a pediatrician walked by and popped in and was just mind blown that a training like this was happening in Kenya. It's just amazing, and it's shifting rehab. And we just can't wait to keep going with this. So what happens next is that these trainers will be leading one training a month each, and TBB Global, the leadership team who was introduced today, will be visiting Kenya at the end of August to witness some of these trainings. This is the first time that a team will be going with, so we're all really excited about that. And then after the trainers complete a successful year of being a certified trainer, then they are eligible to begin training other trainers. So we're always following that training of trainer model. So Danielle, other things that TBB is hoping to grow on, I'm going to rush a little bit now. We're meeting with individuals and organizations in other countries around the world as we are hoping to scale and start sharing these programs further. We have had so many requests. I get outreach all the time. People are wanting just foundational pediatric programming to clinical competency trainings to very specific intervention trainings. So we're currently determining kind of where our next best step is. We are unable to move forward with any further steps until there's funding to support that. We're coming off of a very tough financial year last year. Our revenue was down 58% compared to the previous year. And this year is even lower so far. We've really had to scale back on our team because of that. And so our team members are focused on just these programs right now and these trainers. Lisa's going to put a link to donate in the chat if you are feeling inspired to donate. That will be for anyone you can share it with as well. Immediate support goes to these trainers and these programs to continue through next year, and then further on to how we can build a next program with local partners that we are currently meeting with to determine where local support is going to help meet their local need. We've done a lot with a very little. I am so proud of everyone here. Everyone on this call has sacrificed. I appreciate that so much. We are the definition of an impactful, scrappy nonprofit, and we are constantly growing though. And I'm just so proud of this moment and this journey that you've all been on with me. So thank you to everyone who's listening to this. I know there's going to be so many more people listening to this. Thank you for supporting us, for donating. None of this is possible without you. To TBB support team, thank you all so much for the hard work that you put in. There's so much work that goes to putting this together, and I really appreciate it. None of this is possible without you as well. And to our trainers, your journey is really just beginning. It's been nothing short of extraordinary so far. And you are truly the essence of TBB. And I just can't express how proud I am of the growth that you've shown over these past couple of years and the impact that you've already had. Embrace the challenges. This is something I am constantly learning. Cherish the triumphs and always strive for excellence. The world really needs your expertise and your empathy and your unwavering dedication for continued advocacy for the disability community. So I just can't wait to see what happens next. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
That now concludes our ceremony. Thank you again, everybody, for attending. Please feel free to congratulate our trainers in the chat before signing off.